he gonna get caught. He'll pop out on you. He get there too quick.
That is, if I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference. Almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say it comes in at 200 pounds. It's still 65-pound weight advantage, which is absolutely ridiculous. How can you be out there claiming to want to fight the best people on the planet?
Several veteran boxing analysts have warned Jake Paul against stepping into the ring with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, especially after recent training footage highlighted Davis's blistering speed and devastating power. Experts caution that such a matchup, given the stark size difference, poses not only serious physical risks, but could also harm boxing's credibility. They stress that Paul must treat Davis as a genuine, explosive fighter, not merely a YouTuber's challenge, because the footage reveals Davis to be more than just quick and agile. His technical precision and ability to corner opponents make him a dangerous threat, particularly if Paul underestimates him.
Quite surprised because it sounded like Jake Paul and Joshua were getting closer and closer to January. However, there have been rumours of Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul in the past. I think with Gervonta Davis' kind of legal problems in the last month or so and rumours about his retirement, I don't think it's a massive shock that he is taking this Jake Paul fight if it is going to go ahead, purely for the reason that it's a lot of money for maybe not the most difficult job that he's going to have in his career. So it's a strange one, but yeah, it's just another kind of day in the sport, really, isn't it?
Promoter Eddie Hearn has issued a strong warning to Jake Paul about the dangers of facing Gervonta Davis, cautioning that the fight could have serious, even devastating consequences, urging Paul to be careful what you wish for. Hearn labeled the matchup a mismatch and voiced concern for Paul's safety. While he acknowledges the bout's huge commercial appeal and gives it a 50-50 chance of happening, his message remains clear. In this fight, Paul risks far more than his win-loss record. According to Hearn, it's his health and well-being that are truly at stake.
I think it's extremely dangerous for Jake Paul. You know, I've got the general feedback is the boxing world saying, please AJ, go in and evaporate this young man from the boxing world so we can all get on as normal. You've got Jake Paul fans thinking bizarrely they can beat Anthony Joshua, and the most bizarre thing out of everything is that Jake Paul genuinely believes he will beat Anthony Joshua. I think it's the only reason we're going to see this fight, but I truly believe you're going to see it at the beginning of 2026.
Daniel Cormier offered a balanced yet critical take on Jake Paul's decision to face Gervonta Davis. He acknowledged Paul's promotional skills and growing legitimacy, noting, "I respect Jake Paul today," and commending how he's built his brand to the point of securing repeated partnerships with Netflix. Still, Cormier couldn't overlook the glaring size disparity. While recognizing Davis as the more skilled boxer, he highlighted the weight gap. Davis, coming in at roughly 133.8 pounds in his last fight compared to Paul's near 200 pounds. Cormier warned that a Davis victory could derail Paul's momentum entirely, but at the same time, Davis himself risks major embarrassment if he loses to a much bigger opponent.
When the disruptor challenge is a legend, guys, anything can happen. When a kid that was on YouTube and on Disney walked there and said, I'm going to be a professional boxer, Jake Paul needs to be commended for that. He had a vision, and he honestly executed that vision better than anyone ever could have expected. But sometimes you want something so badly that you don't recognize the dangers that come with wanting that thing and then getting that thing. Now Jake Paul has gotten himself to a point where he's fighting someone that could truly end his career. Mike Tyson. We're talking about one of the scariest, most dangerous fighters to ever step foot in the squared circle. For me, it's pretty simple. Jake Paul in the Mike Perry fight, he got a great appetizer for what he will get in the main event. A fighter that starts very fast, that throws things to take your head off, and you have to kind of match the intensity to ultimately get your shots off.
Middleweight champion Carl Froch has delivered a sharp warning about the safety concerns surrounding a potential Paul versus Davis exhibition to the massive 65-pound weight difference. With Paul usually fighting around 200 pounds and Davis at 135, Froch cautioned that while Davis is the more skilled boxer, Paul's size and unusual power could pose a serious danger, stressing that Davis won't be used to being hit like that. His remarks echo the broader unease in boxing circles, where many view the matchup less as a true contest and more as a spectacle that raises questions about both legitimacy and fighter safety.
My name was mentioned at his press conference and he shit himself. And the fight was just absolutely fucking diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer. He never will be. And he proved time and time again that he's not a professional fighter. So, Jake Paul, got piss off.
I mean, I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. He swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches. But it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he does so much wrong. It's just everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own side, as a professional, it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. And he's at that sort of level. And then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different. It's like a different sport.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. Don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode. But hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in. I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf. I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share, and subscribe to the best channel in the business for action fighting. And we'll see you very soon.
Ryan Garcia strongly condemned the proposed matchup, dismissing it as completely insane and questioning its legitimacy. He argued that modern boxing is losing credibility, comparing the sport to professional wrestling and claiming it now looks more like WWE than a true competition. Garcia warned that spectacles like this undermine boxing's integrity, making it increasingly difficult for fans to view the sport as serious. In his words, boxing is officially the WWE.
Today we're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. You know, the best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, you know, in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, you know, he's got a 40-year age gap between them? You know, why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, you know, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring? And Mike Tyson. Now you're fighting a guy who is, you know, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, you know, this is another joke. In Jake Paul's career, you know, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but, you know, he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting, you know, top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. You know, he fights, you know, these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So, you know, I guess this is the state of boxing. He's dead. UFC took over, and, you know, this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who, you know, it's on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, you know, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed if they weren't? Allegedly. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Amir Khan has fiercely criticized the planned exhibition between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, calling it disgusting and warning of severe safety risks. He pointed to the drastic weight Paul at roughly 200 pounds against Davis at 135, along with an 8-inch height difference. arguing the fight is dangerously one-sided and unlikely to gain professional sanctioning. Khan cautioned that mismatches like this not only risk serious injury but also damage boxing's credibility, while commending promoter Turki Alalshik for refusing to endorse YouTube-style spectacles.
On a guy who's obviously a lot heavier than you in an exhibition fight. What are your thoughts on this fight?
A really bad mismatch, and you know what? Whoever the promoter is and that's agreed with Gervonta to fight, and whoever the promoter is to fight for Jake Paul to say fight this little man, that's wrong, man. I mean, that's just like torture and so on. I mean, going in there and hurting someone is just not fair on Davis. But like I say, you don't know what position Davis is in. I heard that he's been having a lot of legal problems and been arrested a couple of times, a couple of felonies and stuff I've seen with his ex-wife and stuff. So you know what? What's going through his head? Maybe he just wants to cash up and walk away from the sport. And maybe this is a great opportunity for him where he's seen this fight come up and he's like, fuck it, I'll take it. But yeah, I mean, I think they're making boxing a joke, really. One day someone's going to end up getting hurt so badly, then it's going to definitely destroy the sport.
Michael Bisping didn't hold back in criticizing Jake Paul, branding him a bully for exploiting huge physical advantages over much smaller fighters. He highlighted the glaring mismatch against names like Canelo Alvarez, pointing to a 60-pound weight gap and a 7-inch height difference. Bisping blasted Paul's choice of opponents, accusing him of deliberately targeting undersized, less skilled fighters to pad his record, calling it an embarrassment to the sport. He questioned the legitimacy of Paul's claims as a serious boxer, arguing that his success relies more on spectacle and size disparity than genuine merit. For Bisping, Paul's approach amounts to nothing more than bully boy tactics.
To want to fight the best people on the planet, and then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully. It's like, dude, what are you doing? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously, give you credit as a boxer, you have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real.